Hello there, it's Moira McDonald, and today I have a gift for a very dear friend who is coming to visit me, and that is Pirjo, who is Pirjo Blues on YouTube. I'll leave a link to Pirjo's channel. She's coming over from Germany to Scotland for a week, and she's going to Edinburgh, but we are going to spend quite a lot of time together. It is during the Edinburgh Festival, so there's a wee bit of glue on the table. So it'll probably be really quite busy when she's there, and I'm very much looking forward to it because I think it'll be very exciting. So in honour of her coming, I decided to make a wee sort of travel journal with a Scottish theme to it. So in terms of size, it is roughly 6 1/4 or 6 1/2 that way, and about 4, about 4 1/2 that way. I have decided, there's a sari silk closure by the way, and I've added to that one of those little bulb pins with a wee dangle charm that I made with a variety. I put a wee Celtic charm on the bottom, a little heart bead there, some very sparkly shiny buttons that when I know for a fact that when the light hits these crystals, they really do, they're the most vibrant things humanly imaginable. And there's also a wee heart on it there. Should it irritate her, apart from the fact that you can undo the button, you can also, the pin, there is one of those little clasps that you get on bracelets. Hold on a wee minute, because my footery fingers here, I can't get it off. Footery is a Scottish word. Oh, what am I like? There we go. So that's the wee charm. It is fabric, soft cover, and what I did was I used a Biggs die, a Sussex Biggs die, to cut a panel of tartan fabric, and I then cut another kind of label type out a card, and I put that on top so that Pirjo can either put her name on it, or perhaps she would prefer to maybe put, Edinburgh 2018 or when she's visiting. Down the bottom I have a piece of a doily that I cut and some paper flowers that I painted the edge of and put a wee bling stone in the middle, and I've got a wee row of decorative pearls there. The flower idea I got from my friend Cheryl Stark. Hello Cheryl, hello Cheryl. Cheryl, I'll leave a link to Cheryl's YouTube channel as well. Cheryl's very good, and she recently sent me a beautiful journal. So we'll get into this and we'll have a wee quick look. Now, I have done it in such a way that it opens up this way. You'll go through the pages that you're facing, and when you're done, you turn the book and the pages are the other way. If you get me, you'll know what I mean. The very first thing is from a Katie Morag book, and it was just the inner cover, and I thought it was quite good because obviously where Katie Morag stays, Katie Morag's a Scottish line of books. Where Katie Morag stays is obviously a very kind of touristy type place, and this is where the lady artist stays, and that's the holiday house where folk come when they're coming on holidays. This side I've put a couple of wee corner tucks. There's nothing in this wee envelope, but it's just a wee envelope which you can maybe keep some tickets or something in. Right, so that's the book. First page we've got, just a minute, hold on, ex libris there, and handmade from the heart stamped on it. Fabric cut using the Sussex die of a big kind of tartan butterfly. Here I did some stamping with just a thistle stamp I've got. I coloured the bottom green and the top purple like the thistles, and I've added a wee bead charm here again because Cheryl does these, and Cheryl has some beautiful beads incidentally. I don't know where on earth she got them because you don't get beads like that here, but I added a wee bead charm on this one. There's a few wee bead charms throughout. Over the page you've got a wee doily here, and I had a picture of Edinburgh Edinburgh Castle's up the top here. In fact, hold on a minute, I could do with moving this back a wee bit so you can get a better view. Just bear in a wee sec. Oh, help. Whoa. Yeah, that's a wee bit better. It's giving you more of an angle and you can see more of the book. Right, so it was a picture of Edinburgh Castle. It's actually Edinburgh Castle by night. There's a castle at the top. And what I did was I turned the image sepia using Adobe Photoshop, and then just used, I've got an X-cut die for a jigsaw puzzle, so I cut it out using that and just put it on the page. Here I've got a wee bit of tracing paper and used one of those Sue Wilson dies on this page and put the thistle in the centre. There's also some random stamping throughout. Maybe Edith Holden. Here, a couple of wee stamps and another wee bit of lace down the bottom. Over the page, just some Scottish book, picture of a couple of wee lasses doing a Highland fling. And we don't remember days, we remember moments, and I'm hoping that by the end of the week she'll have lots of moments to remember. This is some ledger paper that Marie Blundell very kindly gifted me a wee while back. I'm still using it, Mary, I've got plenty, don't you worry. This did another one of these paper flowers, and it's got a wee kind of bling stone in the middle and thistle down the bottom. Another wee bit of lace on that page. Here I've got another wee bit of tracing paper or vellum, and a wee bit from a kind of 50s book on wildflowers, and it's on the spear thistle. I also die cut some leaves from a peppermint tea box. I'd been watching Paula Furder's video recently, and she'd been using tea boxes to cut things up. Oh, I've lost some of my stuff because I held my book up. We stamp of bagpipes down the bottom. Another one of the pages with the die cut, and it's I think that's a hawk or something. And some more lace on the bottom of that page. Another bit of Edith Holden. I'm going to take that out and I'll show you this in a minute. Put that in there so I don't lose my page. Bear with me a second. There's some stuff dropped that wasn't pinned in, and I had lifted the book. Here I've got another stamp of a wee Scottish kind of regimental type cap. Another one of my wee bead charms there on the lace. On this page you'll hopefully have heard of the Loch Ness Monster, Nessie. I mean, obviously Nessie's no real, we all know it's no real, but it gets tourists in, so this is Nessie, a wee stamp of Nessie the Loch Ness Monster. Very old picture of a wee boy there, and just some Scottish book page. It's a vintage Scottish book. It's actually about Scottish humour. I think the book itself came for something like the 30s or 40s. Wee bit of lace at the bottom there on that page, and this is another Katie Morag page. It's more of the picture of where Katie Morag stays. Here I have a stamp of a Jacobite soldier. Come 2 pages there. Little Moments, Big Memories. And the centre of the book, which is an Edith Holden page. Every year in New Year's, when I was young, you would get calendars that had images like this on them. If it wasn't a wee man or a lady with a wee Scottish rhyme, it would be 2 wee Scotty dogs, a wee black and white one generally speaking. What it tells you is life is only half a glass unless it's shared with a bonny lass. So drink together of blessings sent to love and joy and sweet content. and you would look at that wee man for a year because you only had a wee tiny calendar at the bottom of it. We never had posh calendars in Scotland. That's a fairly new thing. More Katie Morag and the Scottish flag there. There's our tea room. We'll be having tea, don't you worry. Plenty of tea. That's Harry the Hairy Haggis. I've shown you him before in another book. And here I have, I want to show you this. This is one of these hair clips. I think they're called sectioning clips. And I had seen a lot, I put a link to the girl's channel that I saw this on. What she did was, she used hot glue, I didn't, I used Fabri-Tac. Just basically glue a piece of fabric to the one side of this, and then layer up a variety of laces, and added a wee crocheted flower with a little kind of goldy coloured button in the middle, and obviously you can use it like a paper clip. But I really liked it because it was fabric based, and I haven't seen very many folk doing them, so I'll add a link to the lassie's channel where I saw it, as long as I can find the lassie's channel again, of course. Here is a file folder. I often see file folders, right, and I don't know where you get them because I haven't been able to pick up anything the kind of quality of what other people are showing me from America. The file, I made this myself out of just a piece of card, piece of cream card, and I cut it using the envelope punch board to get the angles up the top. In the centre, what I've done with it is I've put in two wee paper envelopes that I made. They are 3x3 in size, and I stamped them using a Stampin' Up stamp of postmarks, and another couple of the wee paper flowers with a wee blingstone in the middle, and more of Paula's leaves cut from a tea bag box. She was to remember and to be preserved, and I thought these were good wee envelopes for maybe keeping wee tags or tickets or things that maybe Pirjo will pick up while she's here. This is another one of the pages from Marie's journaling paper, and inside I just got an envelope that I bought this envelope like this from, I think it was either Wish or AliExpress. It's got the Queen's head on it, so it's obviously meant to be British. And I've included the informal Scottish national anthem. Technically our national anthem is God Save the Queen. However, you'll quite often find that if it's a Scottish thing like maybe football or rugby, the song that's sung is called Flower of Scotland. It's a lovely song written by a lovely man who's no longer with us, a chap called Roy Williamson. He was a member of a folk group. There was only two of them, Ronnie Brown and Roy Williamson. They were called the Corries, and I was brought up on Corries music in our house, so all of the Corries songs I know very, very well, and I'll be sitting singing that as soon as I have a wee dram with Pirjo, don't you worry. So that fits in there. And I'll put my wee file folder I made there with my little sectioning clip. On this page, just a couple of tags I made in a tuck. I included this because it's like an old British bus ticket. I remember when Corporation ran the buses in Glasgow, and you got buses, you got tickets something similar to this, and I put a wee kind of tartany type ribbon at the top of this one. Here I used, you know me for a wee bit of circular die cutting. I cut out a circle from a card, which I then added some stamping to. It's stamped with some music. I cut out in a smaller size circle the wee girl and a wee vellum circle to sit on top of her. So if Pirjo should decide she wants to use this particular tag for keeping any notes of anything or journaling, she can turn it over, move the girl away and not get her all crushed when she's doing it, because obviously if you're right on top of that, you're going to see through it. Added a wee bit of the kind of gathered lace here, and that's just a wee brad that's holding it all together. Another bit of die cutting here with a wee Scottish bunnet. A bunnet is what we call a wee hat. I suppose a bonnet, but we call them bunnets. May flowers always line your path and sunshine light your day. And that's very true. A wee bit of vellum, and here my Scotland stamp, which came from, what are they called? Clarity stamps. Very good quality stamps, not the cheapest I have to say, but because it said Scotland, when you see anything Scottish you've got to buy it, because there isn't much of us. And we've got Nessie in the centre again. And that is my country, Scotland itself. I've got a wee bit doily there, and here's a wee tip-in. Just used some of that embroidered shipping I've got. I've got a lot of it, so get used to seeing it. The picture you saw earlier of Edinburgh Castle, which had turned sepia, this is the original picture. And this is the way it came. So it was a question of increasing the size and changing the colour. Maybe Edith Holden. And I've got the last of my little bead charms here. Reed tuck. And it's one of those little, what do you call them, Rolodex cards. Wee piece of kind of tweed type fabric, kind of like Harris tweed here, that my very good friend Lisa Owen from Kilwinning in Scotland. Lisa sent me that, and I then die cut a wee tag using my tartan fabric again, and added a couple of wee fabric leaves, and you can journal on the back of that. There's the Scottish flag that I stamped there, again that's a Clarity stamp. Doily and a wee Scotty dog. And at the very back, Katie Morag and the Dancing Class is the book that I used for the front pictures. Here I made that's upside down, I made a wee kind of bookmark type thing with a bit of Edith Holden, and this was the description of what was included in the picture: willow catkins, robin, white crocus and winter aconite, whatever that is. So I just labelled that up, stuck it on there. And in the back page I've got another one of the Rolodex cards with another wee tartan butterfly. So we can now turn the book the other way and go through the other pages. Wee thistle there, a different thistle. And Harry the Hairy Haggis again. I haven't overdone the decoration, some good tea stain on that page, because I think I'm hoping that there will be an awful lot to do in Edinburgh, plus obviously there'll be a day when she's going to come over to Glasgow, to my neck of the woods. I don't live in Glasgow now, but I know Glasgow very well because I was born and brought up there, so I know it considerably better than I know Edinburgh, and I know there's quite a lot of museums and things to look at in Glasgow. Wee bagpipe stamp there. Here we've got a celebration of the Scots language. I was explaining to Pirjo the other day that it's only in the past couple of years that it's been accepted that there is a Scots language. There is Gaelic, which is spoken in the Highlands, but in southern Scotland, obviously we all speak English, but on top of English there are some derivations, shall we say, that they refer to as Scots. And this is the celebration of the Scots language, the wit and wisdom of the Scots. and the very first thing it says is we're all Jock Tamson's bairns, which means we're all cut for the same cloth, we're all the same, you know, we're all God's children, Jock Tamson being God. Dinna fash yourself means don't bother rushing. It's a sair fecht, it's a hard time and it's a struggle. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Ane at a time is good fishing. Away and bile your heat, which basically means just go and, I was going to say go and raffle your donut, but that's about as plausible to the rest of you as anything else. Scottish folk have a lot of bizarre sayings, and you tend to forget when you're talking to folk, because obviously when I'm up here, everybody I'm speaking to is, generally speaking, there's a lot of Scottish folk. You don't come across many English folk in Scotland, but you do come across a lot of foreigners, obviously. And the thing is, when people move to Scotland, they have to adapt their language, because it doesn't take long before, it doesn't take long before you end up speaking like the rest of us. So it's just one of those things. I was trying to explain it to her the other day, because I think she was a bit concerned that she was going to have real problems understanding when I explained there was a Scots language. But if you watch Outlander, it's just like Outlander, only worse. I'll keep her right, don't you worry. She'll know what's getting said. Here's a picture. I've used this in an old, one of my first Scottish journals, and I love this picture. It's, I suspect, a Glasgow photo. It's a wee lassie standing in what we call a back court. These are the sort of houses that there are a great many of in Scotland. They're called tenement buildings. They're flats. Each window would be a flat for a different person. And it wasn't unusual. See this part here? These would be outside toilets, and by outside toilets I mean outside of the home. So you'd go out onto the landing and you'd go to the toilet if you needed outside, because there wouldn't be an internal toilet in your flat. So needless to say, flats like this no longer exist. There are still old tenement buildings, however they've all been adapted, and indeed some of them are exceptionally posh. And they're, you know, if you can afford one, you're doing really well. So that's a wee lassie standing out in back court. This is where you would dry your washing, and this is where this side here would be where your midden was. Now your midden would be your bin, and the houses would have either a massive big bin, so each flat would come down and empty into the midden, or they would have individual wee middens for each flat. And if you had an individual midden, whatever you do, you didn't use anybody else's, because that would start a fight with your neighbours or your neighbours. Another wee Scottish lassie there, and a piece from the flower book. And in here I've got another wee pocket, and in terms of tags, I have, this has been embossed, dry embossed, and then I went over it with, what do you call it, Versamark, and used some liquid platinum embossing ink. And the background of it was, you can see the embossing quite well there. The background was, I used violet and ultramarine brush powders to give it a wee bit extra colour. Here I have this has been stamped with a variety of different butterfly stamps, and on top I have added a die cut butterfly from just some scrapbook and paper. And all of these tags can be journaled on. A wee bit of my Scottish ephemera here, and some music paper, and the music paper that I used was from my bagpipe book that I had. Here I did a tag, I'd wanted to put an old British stamp on it, but here I couldn't find one that was going to be the right colour. So I've got an Australia stamp with the Queen, because obviously the Queen was the Queen of Australia, well she still is the Queen of Australia, because she's the Queen of what's called the Commonwealth, which is countries that were previously part of the British Empire. Big bone of contention, don't like the thought of the British Empire, because basically all that was happening was these countries were treated like slaves in many respects. But anyway, that's history, and we all know what history is. A couple of wee bits of lace here, and a wee image of a pretty girl. And I think this is another Scottish song called Bonnie Dundee, written by Sir Walter Scott. It's a Scottish melody, and the background image in it is of Glencoe, where the McDonalds were massacred by the Campbells on the say-so of the English during the Jacobite rebellions. Another tip in here, some of my bagpipe music and a wee Scottish fella. And here we've got another wee pocket with some more of the kind of Harris tweed type materials, and a wee bit of doily and a wee vintage button. Get rid of quite a few vintage buttons in this one. Another one where I die cut the tag, used a variety of laces and Scottish book page. And here, this one is from Crafty Individuals. It's a thistle, and there is actually a postmark of Edinburgh up the top, which I used because obviously she's going to stay in Edinburgh. Got another one of these with a different thistle, and it's got Glasgow postmark on it, but I didn't feel that was relevant to her visit this time. If she ever comes again, she'll stay in Glasgow, because I'll leave her under no illusion. Glasgow's much better, believe you me. Glasgow and Edinburgh, they don't go on. There's a long felt rivalry between Glasgow and Edinburgh. Folk from Glasgow don't like Edinburgh, say it's unfriendly. Folk from Edinburgh don't like Glasgow, say we're all dead common. I'll leave her to judge. And this is that picture of Glencoe again. This is the actual picture, the one that I used on the music page for Bonnie Dundee. Glencoe it's a beautiful place, beautiful. If you get a good day like that, you're doing well, believe you me, because I don't think I've ever seen it in good weather. I've only ever seen it when it's pouring rain, but it's very atmospheric, very atmospheric. And that's it, that's my book. So, I hope she likes it, that's for sure, and I hope you guys like it. I think we're going to have a very fun week, young Pirjo and I. I'm meeting her on Friday night when she arrives. My husband is off work that day, so he'll drive us through, and we'll meet her at the airport and get her settled into her hotel, get a wee bite of dinner, and I'll see her a few times during the course of the week. I'm not going to plague the life out of the lassie. I'll maybe let her enjoy a wee bit of sightseeing on her own if that's what she wants to do, but if she doesn't, oh well, you know me, I'm only too happy to keep folk company. I'm very much looking forward to it, because I don't get a lot of folk to hang about with. And you would maybe understand that when you spend a couple of hours in my company. Right, anyway, that's my wee book. I hope you like it. I hope Pirjo likes it. And I am planning on doing a wee journal for my very good friend Cheryl. And I was toying with the idea of maybe doing a wee series of videos in association with the things that will be going into the book. Oh, here, I forgot to show you these. I picked up these wee vintage postcards the other day that I'm including with these. With this journal. This is Rabbi Burns, Robert Burns, who was born in Ayrshire, and I think he died in Dumfries, which I know fairly well because my first husband had been brought up in Dumfries, and we spent a lot of time there. Sadly, it was where he died, so I haven't been back to Dumfries, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to cope with going back. A wee Scottie frae Glasgow, and that's Glasgow University, and the art galleries. My brother worked in the uni all his life. Here's the Kelvin Bridge Bowling Green in Kelvin Grove. You'll be able to see that when we go to the art galleries. St Enoch Square, dear God, calendar cut out there. Royal Infirmary up the top, again, all changed, very, very different. And here's something from Edinburgh, which is Greyfriars Bobby. And you'll probably have seen, there was a Disney film of Greyfriars Bobby, which was a dog that belonged to an old bloke out the Edinburgh direction. And when the old guy died, Greyfriars Bobby wouldn't leave his side and spent the rest of his life by the graveside of his owner. So there you go, that's Greyfriars Bobby and Show. Probably get a chance to go and see that. I know I've been, there's a pub right next to it and I know I've been in it, but for the life of me it's been that long since I've been in Edinburgh. I'll need to try and find out where it is. So that's us anyway. Thanks very much for your time today. Sorry my camera cut out halfway through that, but we'll speak to you all again soon. Bye bye.